Inside it is a quartz watch. A watch whose looks are more suitable for 1970s than today. Then why? Why in the name of God of watches, if there is any, did I buy this watch? This question is loaded with another curiosity, which is, why do we need watches anyways these days? When one smartphone, a little slide of thumb and touch of screen, you can tell time correctly up to a microsecond, and that too of any and all locations on this earth and beyond. Is this cause of love? Because as they say, love is never a need. It is a choice, a desire that we make that takes us to a promised land of happiness. We love watches, and some we buy just because we are fascinated by the romanticism involved with them. Nothing else. In the matters of heart, better doesn't matter, and logic is thrown out of the window. Therefore, a $5 Casio may compete with a $5,000 Omega Seamaster in telling accurate time. But does it stand a chance against the story of a MI6 agent who wears Omega in his death-defying missions? Sometimes we don't only buy a thing, we buy a story too. You want an example? How about a moon watch? This watch has a story too, a tragic one. Once a proud product of Hindustan Machine Tools or HMT, this watch turned out to be a poisonous pawn that turned against its king and became a villain of its story. Brainchild of then India's Prime Minister, who upon receiving a Swiss watch as a gift, conceived and nurtured the idea of an Indian watchmaking company that will make and produce in-house made watches, desire and dreams of which shall beat in the heart of every Indian, like the hairspring in the mechanical movements of it, for the coming few decades. Thus came into existence HMT Watches of India. They were like the Volkswagen cars of Germany, people's watch as they were called. So first model of it that came out was literally called People or Janata in Hindi. Imagine your name is John and you have a watch model named as you. I bet Swiss will never do that, or anybody for that matters. When your name is Amar, Avinash, Kanchan, Gautam, or hundreds like that which were a household name at that time, you were bound to find an HMT watch named as you and wear it proudly on your wrist, making it a personal statement. It was not a marketing gig, but a testament to the fact that this watch is for the people, to the people, by the people of India. Imagine, today Apple releases a new iPhone. People would queue a night before in front of the store. Such was the craze of HMT watches back then in India. Of course, except for the fact that these watches were a lot cheaper and never harmed anybody in a blue whale challenge. Winding the watch became a daily ritual by millions of Indians. In its heyday, HMT watches became largest supplier of wristwatches in India. Some of its models used to sell at a premium in the grey market for far more money than their legal price. No pun intended, but things were running like a clockwork for HMT back then. Their ship was sailing in high winds. Time went on. After no less than over 100 million watches produced, the unthinkable happened. The ship that was once sailing smoothly started to sink like the unsinkable Titanic. And this watch, a puny, sweet little $20 quartz HMT, here may have been the iceberg that HMT never really correctly anticipated. An inexpensive mechanical watchmaking company, HMT, introduced quartz watches, but then it was ahead of time and consumers did not take to a high-priced quartz watches. There was no taker for these quartz watches, and hence HMT's move backfired. This was the beginning of the end for HMT. Through the large mismanagement holes, losses started to seep in. Unfit to take on blows from international and new brands, HMT started to bleed. Inadequate production and sluggish reaction to the evolving demands of the marketplace brought the HMT giant on its knees. Like many other examples in history, despite of having all the right ingredients to succeed, HMT failed and never really resurrected. At last, HMT's time was over. It was closed in 2016. Today, these watches are remembered. They are still available here and there till the stocks last. I'll share some details in the description for you to check out. These watches are still romanticized by the people who once owned them like a prized possession. Some people wish to own a piece of history in this present. That history which once was so lively and omnipresent that one might have never thought that its time will run out. But here we are, once again, witnessing the great fact that time does change everything. We can buy watches, but we can't buy time. So live it to the fullest while you can. Take care, watchers. Goodbye. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.